Hello, welcome back to Actual Play Scum and Villainy, Persephone. We just blasted off out of the Iota space yard with our purloined prototype starship that I have named Starbeam, and yeah, I think we're in a way line heading back to the Lost Legion. Where is Persephone? What are you following
Yeah,
suit?
that was going to be my next question: is who's driving Persephone?
Yeah, we're just like very slowly just. Yeah, and who has the skills for this? Not Zokarzan.
I mean, also not Samara. She's got nothing in helm.
So both of us
Although
sitting behind the captain's chair, clutching it nervously.
No. Yes, as the intern is piloting. And actually, the intern's just like flick, this, that, the other thing, flick, and then she like slams the thing in and tunes start like it's like and she's just like, here we go, and you're like, what? And she's like, what do you think I became a starsmith? It's because I wanted to test pilot all the cool ships. Boom. So yeah, she 100% like slams it into overdrive. Like
I feel like while she was doing the switches was when Samara and Zokar like look at each other and be like, cool, this was the plan. We should have planned for who's gonna pilot. You can't pilot, I can't pilot. Yeah. And then we look over and she's flipping switches.
Yes.
Yes.
I was gonna drive. No, I think you're gonna drive.
I think she just like unzips her bag and like this weird cat with like tufted ears and like extra limbs or something is like there, and she like nuzzles it, calls it like Miss. She's like, "You ready, Mr. Fluffles?" Boom. Yeah, just.
BP says Nita's middle name is For Speed.
Nita For Speed. Yes.
Very good.
Wayline to the danger zone is also great. So yeah, I think I don't think there's gonna be too many problems. Yes. So things you need to know. The Iota system has a wayline between the two gates where ships go faster than expected, and there's also a faction of racers that love prototype ship testing for the Starsmiths. So this girl's definitely like intern by day, secret speed racer by night.
Racer by night.
Our family's just like kidnapping is the best. So,
yeah. She's definitely got like a poster of Brumpo Tungus somewhere. Famous hyperboat racer.
Oh yes. Okay. Of course. All right. Cool. So I don't think the Persephone's in a lot of danger, right? Like, because like they weren't doing super illegal things, and like the Starsmith, you're not stealing anything super meaningful. Like the Starsmiths are like, sir, what have we lost? Someone's like an intern, and they're just like, eh.
Well, they're gonna figure that out like tomorrow. Somebody's gonna be like, where's my coffee?
That's for no reason.
A new intern.
Okay. That was how the Starsmiths Guild dropped one tier.
Oh my God, Steven. So you said tier, and I know you meant TIER, but when you said it, that's what I was thinking. Someone's like, "Where's my coffee?" But Nita made the best coffee.
It's both.
Single tier. Yeah. Amazing. All right, so I think that there's going to be like a big space battle happening when you folks get back to the belts, right? And there's a bombardment and like ships, like using matter cannon fire to annihilate like rocks, and it's just like coherence beam is cutting through stuff, and it's going to be very exciting here in a second. But let's set up a secondary scene that's happening at the same time as this is happening, which is there's a gorgeous ship that I believe Kelsa made some fan art of that's in our rotation in the like the waiting screen. Which is there's a weird organic looking golden purple ship called the Golden Star, and I think that obviously Scion having hello, I am here button is going to get picked up. So sorry to make you switch character sheets here. But we got to see some horrible, decadent nobles because House Yeage is full of awful. So yeah, I think I think Scion, you're coming on board, and they've parked in such a way that they can watch like the fleet battle because they're entertained by this, and it's distinctly different, right? So like in the Persephone, the hallways are like somewhat triangular, like a little bit cramped, right? Like they're there's like, you know, the mesh on the ground, like where people run through and whatnot. And if we take a look at the new ship that they picked up that Sean has nicknamed Starbeam, it has
designated. Like whether that's sticks or not, I'm not sure, but
it's well, we'll see. There's a certain box that it has checked on its sheet, but it's got that like weird kind of like oily, multicolored, strange metal, and it's got a bunch of like lines that indicate that it's tech because for some reason someone's doing weird insets on wall paneling that make no sense but look kind of tech because the future. But this ship looks nothing at all like that. Like when you walk in, there's a huge room. There's a vid screen that eats up like 3/4 of like the circular room, right? Like it's got carpeting, like it's got like freaking lighting. It's got, you know, like it's like luxe, right? Like it's incredibly like the walls are made out of some like black glass that is inset. You know, there's a lot of like notes like next to the door on the wall panel. It's like a black glass wall panel, but it has like a single amethyst to bring out like the purple or whatever. And yeah, it's just got like gold lines to indicate what the wall panel is, right, and stuff like that. So as you walk in, I think that you're gonna see the twins, right? Like it's two members of your house. They look eerily a lot like you, and they're dressed in some like horribly ridiculous, like somebody spent like a couple $1,000s on cloth, right? Because like their outfits are redonkulous. Like we're talking like multi-layered stuff where like they have a shirt and pants, but then they have like a jacket and then a robe, and it like flows backwards like 20 yards. And some costume designer just like went berserk on this. Like it's all like embroidered, and there's like the sigils of your house, and you see like, you know, 3 rampant animals, and it's a whole thing, right? Like, but they are completely and there's an individual on the bridge in like a circle, and they're like chained to the floor, right? Like they've got like, you know, like multiple things, and they look like very, very pissed. Now, if you recall, you asked Alondra, you're like, what the hell is my family doing here? And she was like, I don't know, they're hunting some person, right? Like what your stupid family does all the time. So like you take a look at them, and obviously they've caught their quarry, and they're kind of entertained, right? So like there are servants, they're bringing them like glasses of some sort of like sparkling glowing drink or whatever, and they're like lounging and you know, just being generally like rich and noble at you. So like as you walk in, one of them's like, my, I guess we found our naughty cousin. Came here for 1 prize, returning with 2.
So is this duo the important duo on the ship? Are they calling the shots here?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
They're not gonna make you talk to lackeys. You're noble.
True. All right. Goodbye, Zokarzan. Hello, Scion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I might need a little help from you to figure out, like, at what point is the proper point to pull out side dancing?
Side dancing is complicated, right? Because it requires you to have somebody whose will you can sway. And you are not the only person that's been genetically manipulated to be way sensitive on this ship. So trying to go against them with side dancing is probably not going to go great. Sure. But it's in your pocket, right? Like you gotta, okay, so there's one of 2 ways to do it, right? Like so for those of you that have not played a lot of Scum and Villainy, side dancing is the classic, these are not the droids you're looking for, right? Like It's the I push with the way and the attune, and I make you believe something for a moment, even if later on you'll be like, wait a minute. Yeah, but it does require a susceptible mind, right? Like, so it's the kind of thing that most people are susceptible to, but like waymasters or people that have had like psyops training, like hardened Legion soldiers, not like every grunt, but like a lot of the command staff or whatnot are probably, if they're not going to be immune, they're at least going to be very resistant to it. So I guess what you're looking for is some way to like rock them on their heels or throw them off balance, and then try to slip it in, right? Like, because it's not the sort of thing that's going to work casually here.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Applying this like a scalpel rather than a bludgeon.
You got it.
Yeah.
So sometimes it works. Like those two guards that were out with the chain guns outside the door, you could have easily walked up to them and been like, we need access. And they're like, you need access. And like, you will open the doors for us. We'll open the doors for you. You know, like that's plausible. But like these folks are a little bit trickier. Like catching one of the other people in the room, pretty easy. Catching these two, not so easy. So go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So first thing I say is Jarvos, as in JIRV-OS, like operating system. Play Cello Suite No. 1 in G major, BWV 1007, Prelude by Johann Sebastian Bach. And then, you know, just starts floating through the cabin. I say, cousins, surely you won't welcome me aboard your ship without a beverage.
I think one of them just like gestures at the servant and says, whatever you want, of course. Yeah, I think like it's a guy and a gal, right? Like, and I think the guy sits up and looks at you and says like, so what are you doing slumming in this sector?
Yeah, I order something, absurdly fancy. It's probably got flakes of gold in it.
Oh, absolutely. And at least like 3 layers where each one floats a different fruit.
Fading of like the different colors, and it starts glowing like neon as it gets drunk, whatever. And of course I say, and make that 3.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, what am I doing slumming it in this sector? So like, I guess let's establish like some of the circumstances of my departure. Strash, funny story. Earlier, I saw your black cat walking around behind you, and I turned around to like, oh, there's a cat in the camera. Where? Oh.
My little gray cat is the talkative one. She's
adorable. I see that. Yeah. So like, I took off because I didn't want to like basically move into the position of like some sort of planetary governor or whatever position. Sure. Whatever administrative position that my family was preparing me for. I was like, nah, gone. And like, I've been incommunicado for like, how long do we think it's been? Like 6 months, a year? Like
probably a year.
Yeah, some solid chunk of time. I feel like my main, the thing that my family would buy most easily is something about like, you know, there was this one teacher that I had forever ago, failed to toe the family line, and like
what's her name?
I mean,
how about Yara?
I was saying Horrocks.
Horrocks was not to be a hegemonic teacher. Do you tell them about Horrocks?
Well, so like that was the history that I had with Horrocks, is that my family hired her to teach me the way, and she was like teaching me against family policy, so my family ejected her.
Okay,
but like the line that I'm bringing out here is like,
it's unlikely because Horrocks is not from one of the approved churches, so you probably would have had hello. What are you? Oh, okay, Kat. You want the pen? No, you just want pets. All right. I feel like you probably would have had an official teacher, and Horrocks was your unofficial teacher.
Sure. The angle that I'm driving at is like, whatever teaching I received, usually it's this incredibly prescribed, like minutely, like to the day calculated, you know, like course of study that produces perfect, flawless, you know, servants of the familial line. But I had a flaw in my upbringing, which was Horrocks.
Okay.
And so like I'm like spinning this tale for them about how, you know, I'm spinning it in like the way that like a noble would swallow, where it's like I was just so confused by some of the things that I learned when I was growing up, and I had to go resolve these questions for myself. I had to find the
I think that the gal gives a deep and expressive sigh and goes, bored now.
So. I had to sow your wild oats.
Yeah.
So they say, but you're coming home now, yes?
Yeah, like, you know, I sip my beverage and I look to both of them to like join me in libations. Like, you know, I look out the grand glass window at the battle being fought below, and I say, leaving with all of this entertainment?
I guess they chuckle, you know, in stereo, like creepily synchronized.
Yeah.
And I think one of them says like, all right, if you want to stay, you know, I don't understand why you want to stay in this shithole end of the galaxy instead of one of the core worlds, but they're like, we're probably going to be making jumps out of here. And I think it's the guy that leans forward and he says like, but Father is kind of cross with you. And the girl finishes the sentence and says like, if you're not going to be leaving, we're going to need it back. And you know that they mean the artifact.
Yeah.
And the guy says, but I noticed on your entrance scan that it's not in your clothing. So
I simply look out at the field and I say, I just like, I do the judo move of like taking their conversation and deflecting it. And I saying, yes, well, when has Father ever been particularly overjoyed with his prodigal son? Tell me, what are you two doing in this strange backwater anyway? And then I like glance over in the direction of this, you know, chained individual.
Oh, person's like glaring daggers, right?
Yeah.
I think one of them's like, he tried killing Father. It's actually kind of funny. And someone else is like, yeah, you know, Father did like start that entire planet or do something terrible because nobles. But they're like, but, you know, the person raised a hand and, you know, that's illegal. So, you know, we did what we usually do, entertained ourselves. And it's like, now we've got him. We'll let Father take care of this issue.
He's still alive. You're growing soft, cousins.
Actually, both of them lose that like edge of jokiness and familiarity, and they're like, Father said to bring him back alive. And like you get that like hard line, like we do not go against the head of the household. Like they're scared of whoever is your dad, who clearly I have to name and bring on screen at some point now. Go on.
I just say, you two were such good little members of the house.
I think that there's just like the tiniest note of threat in the next statement, but I think one of them says, "And you're not."
Yeah. Scion says, he just like opens his hand and laughs and says, come now. You wouldn't have found me here if I was perfect, would you? We all know that I haven't turned out exactly as expected.
I'm getting serious Hansel and Gretel vibes from these two. Like, go out in the woods, throw a nice old lady who tried to make them food in the oven and said that they tried to bake them instead, and justify that for.
House Yeж is, most of the other noble houses are not good, but House Yeж is special not good.
Extra not good. Yeah.
I
feel like my delinquency, such as it is, has been a matter of record for like a long.
I guess it's true. I don't think that there's a role. I think that they'll let that slide. So they're just like, so which is it? Are we bringing you back and or are we bringing like essentially what they're asking is like, what's the next play?
Yeah, are we bringing you and the thing back, or are we just bringing the thing back? Yeah.
Pretty much.
So like I'm building up to like all of this conversation being a sway.
Sure.
And like
I'm okay with that.
I think what I want to do is I want to set them off their guard enough and put them on the defensive enough, or like shake their confidence enough that they aren't paying attention for when I slip in the side dancing.
What are you expecting to get out of that? Let me just ask straight up.
Like I want them to leave without me and without the device, and think that I'm out here for a good reason that the family is okay with. And like that other people understand, and like that they don't need to talk about, basically. Like,
you do understand that side dancing is not going to last forever, right? Like
Yeah,
it's an in the moment thing. Like they may leave for a couple of hours, but then they'll figure it out. Like
I mean, I could spend stress so that they only have vague memories of the event.
They're higher tier than you.
Stephen, I have an ancillary question that may inform this. What is I mean, you just met Lost Legion folks, and you just met her Grace, or re-met her recently. But what is Scion's like feel about this battle happening out front, where presumably Lost Legion may be destroyed? Like, is that affecting him at all? Is there movement there, or is he sort of distancing himself from that part? Because I wonder if that, they're obviously spectators, but obviously they're also people with lots of influence.
Yeah, they're nobles. If they wanted to, they could call the Legion 51 off here. They're pretty influential.
Yeah, I mean,
not to add more to your plate, but just that's there too.
Yeah. So the thing is, I don't have the device, obviously.
No, but like that's where a lot of your lies can slip in. Like you could just be like, I know where it is. Do this for me now. I'm gonna go fetch it, and then you're like, hey crew, I need help. Right? Like there's a lot of plays after that, but like I'm curious where you're going with this, right? Like if it's just like leave me alone and go away, never to be found. That's only iffy working, right? Like if they leave for a while, they'll be back later because someone's going to be like, what do you mean you came back without him or the thing, right? Like they'll be like, yeah, that's weird, huh? And then they'll be back in like, 8 to 10 weeks or like a month or two, but like they'll be back, right? So
I also want to I want to know more about this person, who they are, what their capabilities are. I want to see if I can maneuver a way to slip him a lock picking kit or something like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I want to cause trouble, and I want to make them look bad.
All of that's plausible.
Yeah,
like you can have an ally on this ship, no problem. Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion for how to make them scramble?
Yeah,
Steven. Totally feel free to ignore this if you want, but if you see one ship that looks like it's one of the Lost Legion ships that looks like it's about to blow up or something like that, you can be like, yeah, I stowed away the artifact on that ship, and make them be like, call off the attack, stop, don't blow it up.
Also, Stephen, I will point this out. Since there are servants and other folks like that around, you could easily side dance them to just open the chains, because I don't think that these people are the only ones that have the key or whatever. It's oh no, they're giant assholes. You know what it is? This person is chained up and they can't move, but the key is dangling just out of reach.
Yeah.
It's absurdly 6 inches forward from them, so that they can
This is Superman with a kryptonite necklace.
Oh yeah. Superman with that's actually the vibe I was going for, is Superman with a kryptonite necklace. Yeah, exactly. Structures a lot of inspiration from comic book imagery. So yeah.
Legion 51 is still in service to the last hegemon, who is a daughter of the House of Yej.
No, Legion 51 is in service to the current. Oh yeah, the Lost Legion is.
Lost Legion. Yeah.
Yep.
Legion 51 is attacking Lost Legion.
Correct. The Lost Legion used to be Legion 1. They used to be the Emperor's personal guard. They were known as the Phoenix Guard.
Yep.
So you can use any of those phrases if too many words with Legion in them are confusing, which is fine.
To discuss the fiction here, it feels improbable to ask my family to call off Legion 51 from attacking the Lost Legion, because it feels like my family knows that the Lost Legion is still in service to the former hegemon.
Oh, they don't care. No? They really don't care. They're just like, call them off right now? Okay. Like, this will make Malklaith look bad. Plus, this is kind of a shit end of a sector. What do you think, they're going to escape? There's only one gate out of here. Okay. They're not terribly concerned about that. You're thinking of this. You do not understand the amount of power that nobles have in this society. Like, You're just like, they wouldn't do that. I'm like, yeah, they would, because that's not enough of a gesture to actually cause them a great deal of problems. Okay. So yeah, they could do that. They're just like, yeah, sure. We'll use Father's hegemonic seal. It's fine. We can do that. But they're like, but what do you give us, right? Like, give us the fucking artifact. We'll do whatever you want. So that way we show up with 2 prizes, one in chains and one in our pockets. It'll be great.
Yeah, sure. I say, Father wants the artifact. I'm surprised. That's no problem. It's easy done. But of course, you are correct. I didn't bring it with me. It's because I left it with a companion of mine. And the companion is, and then I point through the fire, right there. How well do you think those artifacts hold up to heavy gunfire from ships?
Let's switch to our 2 ships coming back to the situation and see how things look from that perspective. Does that sound good? All right. So I feel like the 2 of you maybe like joined up at some point, and like the Persephone and the
Starbeam.
Yes, let's call it that.
That's what I'm calling it.
I love it. Yeah, and it seems to respond to you, but it also it
has another name, I'm sure. It's okay.
So yeah, no. It's you're flying back, and you're both heading towards the great battle. Did either of the crews, did you folks have, sorry to make you switch characters again here. I was about to call you Steven. Did either of you have anything that you wanted to do before we actually get to the battle? Did you want to talk to each other, talk to the other crew?
I feel like we should do 2 things. One, we should coordinate whatever our actions are going to be. Are we all going to get back on one ship? Or are we going to, what are we going to do? And also, we should ask the ship or ask Raquel about its weapons capabilities, because we were supposed to get it because it could turn the tide of this battle. But besides having a black hole in the middle of it, which seems like that could do who knows what, we don't know what it's capable of.
Awesome. So do you want to like stash the Persephone on some like space rock, and then like all of you fly in on this ship, or what's the plan?
I think that'd be cool.
On the new ship.
All right, so I think you all gather up, and you're like, Raquel, what sort of weapons capability does this ship have? And she does like one of those like, nah. I'm so sorry. I had a lot of fun with those. So she takes you over, and she's like, I didn't have time to install cannons, so I'm afraid that someone's gonna just have to chuck these. But she like hits a button, and like a panel slides open, and there's a bunch of little orbs, and she's just like, she like looks at them like you're supposed to know what they are, and when everyone looks confused, she goes like, black hole grenades. Like, she's just so amused by this concept. She's like, I black holed everything. So
I black holed everything.
They're not illegal, right? They're not illegal.
Now you understand.
They never made a law for them.
I'm sorry?
They never made a law for them. They're not illegal.
Right. They're not illegal because there's no law, because no one knows they exist. Yeah, exactly.
They should theoretically be impossible, but this is why she was chuckling at the phrase Black Ops. So
got it. Black hole grenade.
I have a technical question for rules. Can I meditate at any time, like using center or?
No, meditate is a vice clearing thing. It's a yeah, you know what? Like, let's talk about it. What are you trying to accomplish? Like, because you have the fictional capacity to do this, but it's just that gaining the ability also allows you to clear stress by meditating, right? But like, you only clear stress during downtime. So let's talk about this. What are you trying to do with this meditation?
Oh, mechanically just reduce some stress before we head into battle. But I could give some fictional reason for wanting to meditate. With the time device, or I don't know.
Like, if you want to study it, or if you want to spend some time like just trying to find your center or whatever, that's totally plausible. But like, the stress capability of it, which is what the move is designed for, is probably not triggerable right now.
No, that's
but yeah,
I wanted to check if I could trigger it right, like sort of if we had a spare hours. But if I can't, that's totally fine.
You totally do have some spare hours. But like, what would you like to do with this, like per se? Like, what are you expecting to get out of this? Is essentially what I'm asking.
Just some stress I could use if we're.
Oh yeah, no, that can't happen. Sorry, the mechanics are pretty clear on that, right? Like that only happens during downtimes, like over extended periods, right?
Right. We'd have to call a downtime during the travel, and I just usually those are like at a station where you're not under fire, not under pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to check if we can move on now.
All right. But you have it also fictionally, just bear that in mind. So like if at any point you want to like use it for like some sort of like specific fictional purpose, that is a thing you can do. So yeah. All right, cool. So what is the plan?
Do they have like a single major dreadnought that is like the biggest threat, or do they have
where's the capship?
Yeah, I think the plan is like I will throw out an idea, which is Starbeam, which I'm going to keep calling her, can open up portals in her to
she can bend way lines to catch a flight along paths that other ships couldn't necessarily.
Right. But when she opens her door, can she just like open that anywhere in the hull, or is that like there's actually a fixed door and she's invisible?
Oh, you mean the iris?
Like, yeah, exactly. The iris.
Her response is like anywhere there isn't a bulkhead. Like, I do have bones.
So my thought is we like literally like B-wing style fly over one of these dreadnoughts and open up an iris and drop a black hole bomb or a couple on top of their big dreadnought. And
one small problem, Sean. There is no gravity in space. You can't drop anything.
We're inside of the husk of a burnt out planet. I think there is gravity. This battle is taking place like surrounded by a gravity.
All I was saying is there is one person that actually has grenade launchers on them.
Well, sure. I'm for that too.
Yeah. We could also rig something together.
We could throw it. We could, Dipper could fire it out of
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm for any of that. So my thought is do a bombing run, and if we can create wave lines, I think it's pull a con and wayline in, drop a bomb, wayline out, so that we don't get destroyed in the process. Because I think once it blows up, it will probably destroy everything near it too, including us.
Well, okay. Well, we'll see. I think Raquel says like these are also prototype, and I don't know how big they are, and that is a very big ship. We will definitely disable it. I don't know about big explosions.
Oh, okay.
I like those.
Well, maybe if it's big enough, if these bombs are small enough, maybe we could drop a couple of them. But anyway, so that's my idea: is we do a bombing run on the big dreadnought with the black holes.
That sounds fine.
What do folks think? I think Whisper's like, well, let's use these for what they're intended.
Absolutely.
Into it.
Nice. Lauren, do you want Dipper to be the one at the portal launching the black?
Heck yeah, totally. That's exactly where I want to be right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would be trying to pilot us to get right on top and then zip out of there before we get blown up. Zokar and Samara, I want to make sure that this isn't a plan that doesn't, like, I don't know, do you want to go after anything else? Should we do that and then see what happens next? I don't know. I just want to make sure that your characters are in the plan as well.
That's fine by me. I'm extremely stressed right now, so.
Okay, so you don't need to have to make really difficult action rolls.
Correct. I would like if I don't have to do that. In fact.
And I feel like watching the cap ship blow up is going to be when Scion turns to them and says, like, hey, it's charade's gone on long enough. Like, let's call an end to this.
Okay. All right. Cool. So let's figure this out. Someone's gonna have to vector calculate a jump near the ship and away from it.
Yep.
That can be a helm roll. That can be a doctor roll. Oh, that's fine. And then I believe Dipper is going to pepper the shit out of that ship with the 6 existing grenades that exist in this universe that Raquel has made. And then so like that's it. It's like 2 rolls basically is what I'm hearing. I think
that so, fair? Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's the plan. Let's do the plan. Samara, Zokar, do you folks have anything else that you want to contribute? Do you want to do some sort of setups? I'm not really sure because this engineering section does not look like any other engineering section.
I think setting someone up would literally cause me to trauma.
Okay. So, all right. So let's make let's make this easy. Let's
setup actions don't. That you take an action roll. You
take an action roll. I see.
Yeah, assist causes you the stress, but
setups can cause problems in other ways because like if you roll a 4-5, then something bad could happen.
I see.
But ultimately, I think I'm doing a setup roll to get Dipper in position to drop the bombs. I think it's a setup.
Okay, do it. Give us a setup roll, Sean. What are you rolling?
Yeah,
I love it.
Rolling helm.
Yeah, all right.
It's my jam.
Drop some risky standard helm here.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I closed all the windows so we could show Kelsey's amazing fan art.
So BT Dubs, just so that somebody asked in chat, they said, hey, aren't black holes not explosive? Correct. They would just grab a bunch of matter and
they're implosive, right?
They're implosive, yes. But if you cut open things like fuel lines and conduits inside that hole, they're hoping that it'll blow up. You drop one in the middle of an engine, the rest of the engine's just going to explode. So I think that's more or less what they were hoping for. It's the old like load-bearing villain trick, right? So yeah. Let's
we're just gonna remove portions of the ship.
So yes, I was assuming consequences and stuff, but yes, you're correct, they are not explosive. So let's do it.
All right, cool. I don't know, is anyone in the place to give me an assist on this navigation? I know Samara isn't. Is Zokar in a place to help me navigate this?
Totally. Zokar's like,
I mean, you came from the Lost Legion, so you know this area. Like this is, we're returning back to your base.
Yeah. Zokar pulls out like an abacus and then like, carry the 4. Okay. Yep. I provide an assist.
Awesome. Thank you. Risky standard. This time. What is that? Okay. Well, we got a complication.
Cool. So I think, let me think about that.
Actually, Josh, I want to use a move that I have, if that's okay.
Yeah.
That I forgot about. I'm going to use Purpose because it's very fitting right now. You may expend a special armor to push yourself when outclassed by your opposition. I think we're very much outclassed by Legion 51. I like to push myself for 1 more die. I mean, obviously, you should push before you roll, but like this is like
go ahead. It's okay.
And,
no problems.
You know, so
powers are there to be used.
Okay, fine. Well,
2 5s.
2 5s.
So I think that there's a thing that happened last session, but I don't know if anyone caught on, which is that when you were talking to Starbeam, the actual Starbeam, not the ship, but your daughter,
my daughter,
she mentioned that there is a Legion vessel that seems to know where they are, and she doesn't know how. Like they are tracking them somehow and anticipating their actions in ways that make no sense,
right? Because
they're clearly like seeing things ahead. Now, in your head, being a teacher of academy principles and things like that, you're like, oh, you might have a spy on board. There might be a tracking device. Like there's a bunch of sensible things that, you could anticipate. What you don't actually know is that Legion 51 has a high-powered psychic. She actually has a name. She's kind of wild. So I think that you folks are like, we're going to use impossible tech to do an impossible thing, and we're going to jump in from an impossible angle, and she sees you coming. So I think you jump into horrific battlecruiser fire.
Nice. I think I'd like to resist that consequence.
How would you resist that consequence? I love it. Please tell me a story.
I mean, well, I think the resistance comes in the form of I'm expecting this. Yeah, I think it's more Helm. I think it's me just wild flying, dodging around blaster bolts, and basically giving Dipper less of a window than I hoped for. But it's
Are you saying you cut it closer to the ship so their guns can't target you?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay,
yes.
okay, I can buy it.
Last time I just scraped against the edge of a ship, it worked great.
Yeah,
it didn't strand I didn't strand Dipper and Scion on a meteor. Yeah,
Look,
so yeah.
This ship isn't Ula's. It doesn't matter if we hurt it.
I got one thing to say, which is this organics.
Organics, nice. Yeah, so I'm gonna resist I think with prowess because
yeah, do it.
Yeah, I'm just
soak that stress. Do it.
Flying around. Yeah, Dipper's got to get the setup. All right.
Yeah, we see the Legion bridge, and we just see like Liara with her pink hair turn around and look, and she's like assault vector whatever. She like spits out coordinates, and everyone's like, that's impossible. And she just looks at them, and they're just like, yes, ma'am. And they're just like redirecting cannons. And then, you folks like blip in and like just matter cannon fire opens, and you're just like, hold on tight.
Yep.
And like as you go down, right, like everyone's like, whoa, except for Nita, who's like, yeah. So
Yes. And that traumas me out.
Awesome.
So yeah, so I think for the rest of this scene, Whisper is like not even talking to anybody. He's like going through the hardest flight sim he's ever, like he is just focusing.
White knuckling the controls.
Exactly, he's white knuckling. He's moving as fast as he can. He's barking orders at Starbeam, the ship, to try and get Cider safely, but like doesn't respond to anybody. It's just like in this zone. Now.
Awesome. So Dipper, you've taken a moment to switch your frames out on the Persephone, right? Like you're in your heavy frame. You've got the 4 arms. Then I don't know. How do you feel about the spider presence in your mind or in your core?
I think Dipper like feels kindred to like the spider thing. I think it reminds Dipper a lot of like the void eel, like in a way. Like it's just very cute. It looks terrifying and scary, but it's really cute. But I think like having that spider in one's head like amplifies adrenaline or like sort of that nervous energy and that kind of thing. So I think like we get like maybe the spider's like green, like sort of Dipper's eyes sort of like crackle between like blue and green as like Dipper feels like the adrenaline of the spider like sort of creeping up on them as like like the door opens or whatever and we're about to fire these grenades.
The energy pulsing from your core is your equivalent of adrenaline. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, your core spin up a little bit brighter.
Oh heck yeah.
Awesome. So Lauren, do you want to narrate what it looks like as you're hanging outside of an iris getting ready to fire prototype weapons, on the hull of the ship?
So the core like definitely like spins up and like sort of you get some nice sound effects of it like sort of kicking into overdrive. Maybe it glows a bit green like sort of deep down inside. And then like sort of you get like the 4 arms to sort of like a ka-chug, 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 ka-chug as like and like with like sort of a grenade in each. And like Dipper, like, as soon as like it's go time, you just hear like the like sort of 1, 2, 3, 4 like in succession these grenades like coming out of Dipper's fists.
Awesome. Do you want to give me? Are you skirmishing with a battle cruiser? Is that what I'm hearing?
I think you're scrapping with a battle cruiser.
I think I am.
Okay.
I'm scrapping with a battle cruiser.
Okay.
That's
okay.
like you do.
I got 1 stress left. Let's see how that goes.
Well, I did a setup action, so you're going to get improved position or effect, and backup kicks in and setup, so you can push yourself for just 1 stress, but of course that would still trauma
you.
that would still trauma me.
Yeah. Josh? What is without the setup action? What's the default position effect?
Desperate limited, I'm guessing. I mean, it's pretty scary.
What tier are these?
So the way that I'm
bombs?
calculating it is, so I'm giving the bombs the same tier as maximum Starsmiths, which is 3.
Yeah.
But the last Legion is 5, which means they essentially on an unexpected vector with a perfect roll, you would have started at something like controlled standard because they can't anticipate it, but like 2-tier drop is like desperate,
significant,
and so like and then we're also talking about scale. A dreadnought is very big, and even though the black hole like grenades will do significant damage, I think it's just really big. It's like you're flying along something that's like the size of a, it's not quite the size of a moon, but it is big. So yeah, I think that we're talking about like desperate limited, and then the setup action could either make it risky limited, or it could make it desperate standard. Because I think that like that's what you do, is you just do a set of setups and then you hit something. That's how a tiny ship defeats a big ship. Is you do like 4 setup actions in a row and then you drop the bomb, right?
I mean,
like,
hell, we did a setup score, right?
Yeah.
The setup score was to steal this ship.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll give you 2 grades. So I'm gonna say desperate standard, risky limited. Up to you.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm feeling pretty desperate standard.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Desperate standard. I got the bonus. Do I have a bonus die? No, I don't. I don't think I have a bonus die.
I don't think so. Not unless you push.
I'll roll it.
Yes!
Out of the fire. Look at that 6, shining like a beacon. So Lauren, what is this? So I think that there's just like a sequence of implosions, right? And so let's be clear about this. I'm going to say that the standard effect is that the ship is disabled but not destroyed. Is that fair?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like great effect would be like killing some of the named crew kind of stuff. Is that so? Like, I feel like the ship's going to get taken out of the fight. That's going to give the leg up to the Lost Legion. There's going to be a whole like Legion 51 is going to get routed. It's going to take them for F and ever to repair their big battlecruiser class ship. You know, like that's what I'm expecting as standard effect.
I think that's totally fair, but I think Lauren should have the option, knowing that, to retroactively push for effect to actually destroy it. Because we were talking about that, and I don't think we were specifically clear about like what standard would do.
So my question to you, Lauren, is: do you want a cool psychic enemy that may come back in a future episode to give you doom and gloom?
That's delicious tempting.
All good options.
All good options. I mean, heck yeah, I want to see like this and Mystic come back for sure. Yeah. What?
So I think maybe there's a cool moment where the ship starts blowing up, and somewhere on the bridge, like everyone's screaming, like wires are like flaring sparks for no reason. I don't know, it's sci-fi. And then like people are falling out of chairs and everything. But this psychic is standing there looking right at your ship, like through the miles of hull, and somewhere in your mind, the spider is basically like clutched onto the ship, superimposed on you, and it just does like one of those like like I am bigger than you are, little organic. Yeah, it does a threat display. Because we as humans watching the show totally understand that, but Urbots clearly do not have threat displays the way organics do. But yeah, nonetheless, I think that there's a moment where like almost spiritually you lock eyes with the psychic.
Oh, heck yeah.
And then of course the fire on your ship stops, you know, Whisper hits the GTFO button, and then you're gonna the engine's gonna spin up and the ship's gonna jump, and Raquel is like, my theories were correct. So you know, that's all she cares about. So cool. Well, you have expended the only black hole grenades in the universe. But there is still this cool ship, right?
But we have the person who knows how to make them.
Yeah, we still have.
It's true. But you need enough tier for her to actually be able to manufacture them. She took years and all the resources of the Starsmiths to make 4. But that's a mission. We
use 4 for a good reason.
That sounds like a mission. You could rob the Counters Guild and just give her like infinite money, at which point she's just like, ah. So, you know. All right. Cool. So let's switch back just for one last shot here of Scion. Scion, you're watching this battle expanding. You see a ship blowing up. Do you have any?
I turn to the twins and I say, like, you know, I'm probably overstanding. Like, you know, I'm doing that thing that nobles do where I'm like resting my elbow on the prisoner.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
And I'm like, it looks like this isn't going quite how you expected. Let me let you off the hook. You want the artifact? I have it. It's not with me. It's out there. Call off your attack dogs. I'll go get it for you. I'm not coming back. I still have things I need to find out, but I'll let you bring the artifact home.
That sounds like a sway roll. You should totally lie to them. One point of order: those are not actually their attack dogs. They're technically Malklaith's attack dogs, but they're happy to call them off.
Yeah,
they can't gainsay Malklaith because their house is actually higher in rankings. So
I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Well, and are you saying this like as the dreadnought is imploding? Are you? Yeah. So like, there's also maybe a strategic reason to back off now too.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They can call it a tactical withdrawal rather than a flee.
Yeah. I've got 2 in sway, so I'm definitely pushing myself. I think that's really all I can do. So yeah. Yep, here we go. Tell me about position and effect.
Let's say controlled standard.
Okay.
Because you're not asking them for a lot. You're offering them exactly what they want. I don't think the situation is going to get risky unless this roll goes poorly.
Mm-hmm. Now, the other thing that I'm trying to do at this moment in time is like slip a lockpick to the prisoner. Just like let it drop.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we roll it? And that might be how things get risky.
Yep. That sounds good to me. All right. Controlled standard plus 1 bonus die. Submit.
Well, it works.
It works. Well, either it works at a consequence or you have to back off and try a different way.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer? I think the consequence will be that things get risky.
Tell me more about the fictional setup of the consequence.
Absolutely. I think that there's probably a moment where you're like, will you do this? And they're like, sure, we can agree to. And then obviously they see the prisoner looking to slip their bonds, right? Like your idea was like, I secretly slip you some lockpicks, and then in an opportune moment, you're going to vanish off this ship or for yourself or whatever. But this person's just like, nope, I'm gonna do it now, and I'm gonna try and murder them. So like they're very clear about their motivations. It's just much more direct. So what do you think? You can resist this.
Yes. Right.
Like you could easily just be like, now's not the time or something, and that's fine.
Yeah. I think that's what I do. Yeah.
Right. So this is the consequence of a social action. So you have to make a resolve resist.
Okay. Yep. All right. I'm gonna roll it.
I believe in you.
Hey, I clear.
That's great. You clear a stress. You feel so good about this plan. You actually clear a stress. Awesome. Yeah.
Fictionally, can we say that I used side dancing?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm just like, maybe later.
Now is not the time. Yeah.
Now's not the time.
I mean, that's perfect because this person must have very strong feelings. So convincing them to do it might need that little extra of words. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
So I think that happens, and they kind of look at you. Music gets real tense, and they go, "Fine." Someone's like they wave vaguely at someone. They're just like, send a message to the commander of that ship, the big one, and tell them the following. And blah blah blah. According to the edict, yada yada yada. You are commanded right now to retreat. Provide us cover while we retreat from this very dangerous area. And they look at you and they go, good enough?
I just incline my head.
Awesome. So I think at that point, they say like the artifact to us leaving, correct?
Of course.
I think it's the lady that looks at you and then like looks at the man in chains and looks back at you and she says, "Don't make us hunt you down."
Nice.
Yeah, Scion just smiles and says, "Oh no, I'd never want to end up in his position."
Cool. And I think that's probably the end of our episode.
Yeah.
It's time for XP. We're gonna start next time with downtimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well-deserved downtimes. We crammed two scores in there, two missions in that one. All right, Steven, you've got Scion up. Do you want to do XP for him or Zokar's on?
Do I only do XP for one of the two characters?
You pick
Yeah,
one.
I think so, yeah.
I'll do Zokar because he was on screen more and also a lot of fun.
Sounds great.
So he's up. So yeah, why don't you?
Did I address a tough challenge with technical skill or ingenuity? I mean, there was the moment when I like blew up some dudes at a computer with a stun bomb.
Yeah, there was also you like working with the intern to unlock the clamps and like get the bay doors open and all that stuff to clear the path.
Yeah. Did I express my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background? I hadn't thought of those for Zokar. What was my background? Military, sapper. Well, yes, okay, that's good. And I was a spacer. I felt like I was very at home on a random spaceship, and also put into good use my munitions expertise, such as it is.
And your knowledge of Legion 51, right? Or like the confidence out there.
Yeah, I did not realize you were a sapper. That totally makes sense for the assist on the helm roll, where you're like, okay, you want to blow them up? This is where we need to plant the bombs. You know,
totally.
this is where to do it. And I want to say, like, I don't know if this is part of your beliefs or not, but I think your interaction with Anita of like, here's how to get by in life, kid. You know,
that's true. That's very true.
I don't know if that was genuine. I feel like that, which it seems like it was. And I think that's part of Zokar's beliefs.
For what it's worth, for Forged in the Marches, I'm considering adjusting this line to like something like, "Did you express your character in a particularly colorful way?" or something like that, because that's almost really what it's asking. Like, do you feel like you really like shown as
did you embody your character
playing, right?
That's a true statement, but I think what Harper is specifically saying is like, here, like, would you like to be good at role playing? Perhaps you should talk about your drives, beliefs, heritage, or background. Like, those are how you convey your character on screen. Please do the thing.
Well, and it's also the incentive to be able to make characters with very little background. You're just like, cool, I rolled up a muscle, or I rolled up a stitch, and you don't know anything about them. And then when you have this moment of indecision, you look to your background, you look to your heritage, you look to something else, and you're like, oh, I'm going to flesh that out now to find out more about my character. And it's that like reverse character building, encouragement to do reverse character building, not to like focus so much on figuring out who you were before play, but figuring out
totally.
Play. So,
all right, cool. Well, I marked 4 XP.
Awesome. Did you struggle with your vice or traumas?
No.
Zokar has a new character, no vice or traumas.
I've got none of that.
He's got a vice. His vice. Oh, he doesn't have a vice. Never mind. You gotta pick a vice for Zokar.
I'm sure that I should have a vice, but I also did Zokar struggle with his vice at all. So.
All right, Jen, I've got Samara up.
Yep. You addressed a tough challenge with charm or audacity. I did the crap out of that multiple times.
So
take
much.
a 2 for that. Yes. You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I feel like I definitely shone as a pirate, but I also feel like the bit where I sort of laid it on the line for Nita and is like, listen, we got to get these clamps out. I really like, I wanted to help my friends. And that's a direction that Samara's growing in. That's maybe taking her a little bit away from her pirate roots, that now she has a family. So I think I'm going to take 2 for that one as well. I did not struggle with vice or traumas, apart from really wanting a break at the end, because I was very stressed. But no, I'm not taking any XP for the last one. So.
Cool. All right, Dipper.
Okay, so I think I addressed 2 challenges with the boss or threats.
Oh yeah, I mean railguns, locking, the locking clamp, and a dreadnought.
It was a very good violent episode for different. And I think like the Belief Strives heritage background kind of came out with like the sort of tag teaming with Whisper and sort of redeeming ourselves a little bit after like totally whiffing at the bot core planet place. And I think we sort of also yeah, I think I got the stuff with the robots in. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say all your cores coming out and calling us organics. Yeah, like dismissively. I love that.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun with that. I'm curious to see how much more vernacular or lingo like Dipper picks up from these robots, and if the crew picks up on it.
Yeah, because I feel like so far you've just sort of kept it to yourself, and you haven't really shown us disdain openly, but.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And struck up with issues from visor trauma. I
reckless.
Yeah.
I also want to point out that haunted is your trauma, so dealing with these ghosts is actually an XP.
Yeah. And you pissed off Whisper by like trying to do everything yourself, right? Like he was like, stop. You know, and to the point where he like held you back. He's like, oh, they'll get it, and then had to send you to do it because like they hadn't. And but yeah, there's definitely a real tension there with Whisper. I think when you were being reckless. So.
I love it. I'll take XPs for that too, and I'm looking forward to Dipper and Whisper having a talk about this.
Yeah, it's gonna be downtime. It's gonna be downtime.
Looking
for sure.
forward to Dipper and the ship having a talk.
I'm very excited. That's my character.
All right. And Whisper coming at you. Did you adjust to challenge with deception or influence? I don't know. I think this is a pretty actiony one. I think the only thing that I did, I'm going to take 1 for this, and it's not. It was an action roll, but I definitely like chided Dipper on the like, don't like work with me, don't go run off on your own, both in the getting through the doors but also in like the docking clamp. And I think it was important for me to like wield that influence I had on Dipper to keep them with us.
Definitely.
So yeah, I'm gonna take 1 for that. And did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background? The Phoenix Guard stuff was a major motivator for me, and calling back to my days as the academy instructor and like going through all the lessons, trying to learn the new ship, and basically going through like the instruction course. I think we're both poignant for me, so I'm taking them for that. And did I struggle with my trauma or vice this session? Yes, all of the above. I was terrified about you using the way artifact to the point where I was like, don't do it, and freaking did it anyway. And also, this entire score was an obligation score for me. It was doing it for Phoenix Guard.
Yes, it was.
And I trauma it out at the end. I will figure out what that trauma is going to be, but so I'm taking it for that. So I'm taking 5. All right, and then 2 there, 3 there, and then 2 more here, 2 more. Okay, and then Persephone. We're finally going to get did we get a thing?
You got a thing.
Yeah, execute a successful extraction operation or capture a bounty. Yes, we did that.
You did. Technically both, actually.
I think we did it twice because we also... Yeah,
we got the intern.
We got Nita, and we got and also you freed a captive.
Technically, that XP is for the Fire Drake, but like, I definitely think I'll put it on. That's a version of an extraction. Yeah.
Yeah, extraction. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
it is a bounty.
3 counts. So yeah. So I'm taking 2. Did you contend with challenges above your station? like the entire time.
So much.
Legion 51, House Yesh, the Stars in the Guild, all of the above. All right, that fills us up. We have an advance. And then, did you boost your crew's reputation or develop a new one? I want to say that waylining in, dropping black hole bombs, and waylining out is the most unpredictable thing you could.
Going up to a negotiation and being like, "Hey, we're gonna bounce to go get a ship," and then showing up with the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that, Jen? Say again.
No, I was gonna say, like, we rolled up and dropped those grav bombs from a totally different ship. So unless somebody knew that we were in that ship,
yeah, but the word's gonna spread. Like
that's fair.
These people hired some folks to grab them a ship. The only reason they were able to win that fight is because these folks did the thing. Look at how they did it with like the whole Stacey Weathers persona or whatever. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of. I think there's a fair amount of play there that could come out.
We
without
would
being
tell
like
the Lost Legion and the Maelstrom, like, we were gonna help these folks out. Now we've claimed the ship for them, so y'all are on more even footing. So like, go talk again.
Yeah, I want a moment where Rowan is on the helm of her ship, and one of the comms officers says, "Another ship just dropped in from Wayspace," and it says it's got the designation Starbeam, and then boom, 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 and we fly off, and she definitely knows. She definitely knows who it was when after we get out of there. All right, and then the last one was so I took 2 for bolster reputation or develop a new one. And did we express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? I
mean, we did your obligation mission.
We did my obligation mission. Samara showed that she cares more about the crew than she did before. Dipper shows that they maybe care not less, but differently about the crew than they did before. We recruited Nita. We have a new recruit. I don't know if she's a doctor or a Stitch or a pilot. She seems
she's a pilot. She's definitely a pilot.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take 2 more for that. So we need to pick another upgrade next time. Everybody mark 3 stash since our crew is tier 1 now. And that's
time for outros.
That's outros, yeah. That's everyone's XP, I think.
Yep.
All right, awesome. Thank you all for hanging out with us. This was such a fun mission, man. A heist plus a stealth warp-in bombardment plus like negotiating with nobles. Man, we got everything in this damn and Stacey Voss, Samara Weathers, Ace Reporter. Love it. Anywho, I'm Sean. You can find me at Sean Nittner everywhere. I'll be back here in a couple weeks to play some more Burning Wheel, and then this after that. They're also playing Thief and Necromancer. Strash and Lauren are doing that. So there's lots of fun stuff happening. Basically every other weekend, actual play is loaded with good material. So fun times there. This is so much fun. How about you, Lauren?
I've been Lauren. I use she, they. I'm at the Stray Kiwi on Twitter and thestraykiwi.com if you want to know more about me. Gosh, yeah, this is a blast. Like, there is such good intrigue with our characters, and I really am loving playing the sort of classic friendly robot that might kill you. And how far can you trust them? So I'm really, really, really excited to explore more of that coming up. What else am I doing? Yes, I am playing a Thief and Thief and the Necromancer, which should be picking up again in 2 weeks' time. Had a lot of fun with that, playing a very different character to Dipper, and getting into all kinds of hijinks with necromantic stuff, and like it's super fun. Come check it out. How about you, Steven?
Everybody, I'm Steven Lumpkin. I use he, hey, he, hey. This was a super blast. You can find me on Twitter at Silent Osiris. The O is a 0. This is the first time I've ever gotten to say it on stream, so I'm going to say it. This week, the games company that I work for, Guerrilla, announced the game that I'm working on, aka Horizon Forbidden West. So definitely go check out the trailer for that. I'm very stoked.
Tell us about it, Steven. I've never heard of Horizon the Hidden West. What is that game?
It's the sequel and follow-up game to the 2017 hit open world RPG Horizon Zero Dawn. So, definitely go check it out if you're into such things. Yes. I think that's about it for me. Jen, how about you?
Hello, I'm Jen Martin. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at 10penjen. I don't make video games, so like I feel like it's a little unfair that I have to go after Steven here. I'm just gonna pass it along straight to Strash.
Whoa. Hold on a second. You haven't made video games. You've made Goose games.
I mean,
on now.
It's not like a AAA video game though.
It's a AAA Goose game. And
it came before the
honk.
AAA Goose game.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, fair, fine. Josh.
Don't be mean to my awesome friend Jen. All right. Hey, I'm Strash. He, him pronouns. I'm one of the streamers here on Actual Play. Just reminding everyone, Sean, if you want to spam the thing in chat.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
The world is a horror show. Please donate. Try to make the world a little bit of a better place. Here in Actual Play, we're actually donating all the proceeds from this month. We're actually just until we say otherwise, we're donating all our proceeds.
We don't make all that much, so it's just gonna all go.
Yep. So just try staying awesome out there to each other, and yeah, let's. I think they've covered most of my points. I was going to talk about the Thief and the Necromancer. I played the Necromancer on that show. We had a new volunteer, Luke from Wild Loop Games, joined us. They're a really cool sort of semi-GM role in that volunteer phase. And also we play with Judd Carlman. So it's a cool game. Check it out. It's Saturday nights. It's every other Saturday. So we played last night. We're going to play in 2 weeks. And yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Strashay. So yeah, follow me and feel free to ping me with some questions. I saw some questions in chat about system and stuff. So I'm happy to answer that kind of stuff. That's it for me. Sean, is it time for smooth outro?
Smooth outro. See you all.